Metro on WDET, Detroit Public Radio. I'm Robin Vincent. Last week, the lights went dim on a renewable energy program with big promise for the planet and your pocketbook. Michigan was set to receive $156 million from Solar for All. The money would have helped low-income households add rooftop or community solar, paid for battery storage and basic upgrades like panels, wiring, or roof work, and funded workforce training and community outreach. Households were projected to save about 20% on electric bills, roughly $400 a year. Last week, the Environmental Protection Agency terminated the $7 billion program after Congress rescinded the funds via President Trump's new tax and spending law. Lawmakers are contesting the move. But for now, projects are paused, and families who expected bill relief will continue to wait. So today we're asking Oakland County Commission Chair Dave Woodward what this means for residents here and across Michigan and what a real path forward looks like without Solar for All. Commissioner Woodward, welcome to the program.
Robin, thanks for having me.
So first, what problem was Solar for All designed to solve, and what changes with that tool disappearing?
Solar for All was a multi-billion-dollar initiative, the largest investment in renewable energy, solar, creating the means for solar to be installed and access for all people, low-income areas, rural areas where the cost of making those upgrades are such that it's a barrier for people to receive the benefits of it. And we're really talking about taking the first energy source, if you will, the sun, and converting it into clean energy to be able to power people's homes and be able to provide for basic needs. And for Michigan, that, was a $150+ million investment that gave Michigan the ability to think creatively on how to deploy those resources to make sure that this technology and this renewable energy is available to more people.
Commissioner, I want to zoom in on your work and how these kinds of sudden federal reversals affect county planning and then also public trust. What kind of baseline of certainty do you need from Washington to make multi-year energy commitments?
Well, when you were talking about renewable energy and energy independence, this is a long-term game. And what we see happen out of the Trump administration is pull the rug out from the most vulnerable people across this country, including here in Michigan, including here in Oakland County. I'll zero in on a project. Oakland County in Southfield, Michigan, there was a senior housing project, 60 units for low-income seniors, a facility that would be almost net zero. Because we're talking about solar, obviously, right now, but if you want affordable housing, you've got to address the energy costs. So this project went through a competitive bid process, was awarded a grant to add solar to their facility that would lower, if not eliminate, energy costs for seniors. And the funding has been yanked. And so hopefully the project's able to move forward. But this is a project, 60 units for seniors in Southfield, Michigan. This is just one of the projects that would be approved in Michigan. And it's harmful. You ask about trust, and that's a very valid issue. Honestly, I'm looking long term, like how are we going to navigate through this? Because it's clear that Washington has basically told every state, every county, every local community, you're on your own. At a time in which we're seeing record level of weather events, rising temperatures, energy costs are soaring, and that's what this means. A greater reliance exclusively on fossil fuels means higher energy costs for every household in America, and the ones that are least able to afford that are our lowest income in our poorest neighborhoods and areas around the state of Michigan, and it's incredibly harmful. And we're just going to have to keep our heads down, plow forward, and unfortunately, right now we're on our own.
So this is hitting Michigan's most vulnerable residents hardest. It also has me thinking about the workforce, about the clean energy workforce and contractor pipeline that was gearing up for this program for Solar for All. Are you hearing anything from labor and small installers?
Absolutely. And we had an opportunity, and we were on track to invest in the largest workforce development when it comes to renewable energy in the history of this country. These are good paying jobs. And I think it's important to underscore that no one voted for this. No one voted for higher energy prices. No one voted for killing new good paying job creation. No one voted for polluting our air more. And it is a problem. I mean, we've been asking and encouraging, and we've had small operators and installers. We've our brothers and sisters in the electrician union developing and designing programs, because this is the future. It's the future regardless. What's happening is that eliminating funding like this, which lowers the barriers for entry for more people to take advantage of lower energy costs, is just going to slow us down. And that's bad for workforce. That's bad for lowering energy costs. That's bad for all the things that we know is absolutely necessary to address the realities of the world. But let's break it down to meat and potato issues, keeping energy costs low so that people can afford their lives.
This is the Metro on Detroit Public Radio. I'm Robin Vincent. My guest is Oakland County Commission Chair Dave Woodward. We're talking about the end of a federal renewable energy program called Solar for All and what it means for residents in Oakland County and beyond. Commissioner, what do you need from utilities and state regulators to make low-income solar and storage viable without federal grants, which we can no longer count on?
Right. Well, first, I want to applaud our Attorney General, Dana Nessel in Michigan, working with the governor and the department that was overseeing our Solar for All resources to explore all avenues to hopefully push the federal government to keep their promise and fund these things. In the absence of that, there's no question. We know that energy costs are going up. They never go down, and they're going up at a much faster clip than the rate of inflation, which puts ever increasing pressure on the most vulnerable in our state. So first, I think the Michigan Public Service Commission needs to make part of any rate increase discussion a determination and a demand that our utilities pick up the slack, if you will, create pathways for low-income households to be able to tap into this technology that can permanently lower energy costs for them. Secondly, I think states like Michigan and local communities need to look at all the financing tools that are available to us. We do have renewable energy or energy efficiency programs that exist all across the state, and often they're county run or locally run. And those programs, whether it's insulation or helping replace some appliances to lower energy costs, you can do just so much, because in our lowest income communities, we're dealing with the oldest housing stock, and there's just so much efficiency you can get out of that compared to a new build today. And so thinking about how do we leverage those types of programs and new financing tools to make it possible for people to, again, get over the barrier of the upfront initial costs, because once the infrastructure is in place, the savings are permanent.
Commissioner,
and lastly, I would say,
sorry, if I may jump in, forgive me, but I'm wondering if you could think more specifically and name some actions, some measurable actions that you could take at the county level, let's say within the next couple months, and the metrics you could use then to support people right now and alleviate what's happening with high energy costs and the fact that we're losing out on this key program for renewable energy.
Sure. So Oakland County has a home improvement program targeted to seniors and low-income communities. looking at how we can use that program to deploy those resources to make certain that solar, for instance, or other type of energy efficiency can be eligible for those. This is putting up upfront dollars, a lien on the property, energy cost reduction permanently, and achieve some of that. So that's one. Two, Oakland County launched what we called Oakland Saves. It was an energy renewable program using some of the federal American Rescue Plan dollars. The question was, well, what's the demand out there? And $5 million was allocated in less than a week, lowering people's energy costs permanently. And so looking at a way to deploy, whether it's county grants or looking at the other housing grants that we have available to be able to do that, are concrete ways we can help fill the gap, if you will. But I think it's important to also note that we can't let our federal legislators off the hook here, because the scale of the problem is so large that without a federal partner, we're buying times. We're taking baby steps versus the strides that we have to take in order to permanently address this program long term.
Commissioner Woodward, we only have a couple minutes left, and we're talking about expanding renewable energy, and I'd be remiss not to acknowledge you consult for Sheetz. That's a gas and convenience chain planning dozens of new stores in Metro Detroit. So first, what assurances can you give that your clean energy work for residents is independent of that consulting for a gas chain?
Absolutely. Well, Sheetz is a client of mine in my private consulting firm work outside my county government. First, I just want to say my commission work is a part-time job, and that's why most commissioners have work outside of their county responsibilities. But I'm happy to talk about it. Sheetz is the largest deployment of EV infrastructure in the entire country in its industry. And I think that's a testament of recognizing the changing of energy use in America. As a company, Sheetz is a successful family-owned business, investing millions of dollars here in Michigan. That's going to be creating thousands of jobs in Michigan, and most importantly, bringing needed competition to the area, which translates into lower prices and better services for customers. That's a good thing, and we can all agree with it. There is no conflict with my commitment to renewable energy. This has been who I have been in my entire public service career of 30 years, and will continue being an outspoken champion for making certain that people can lower their energy costs in all forms, and we adopt an above all strategy as it relates to making sure that people have the resources in their pockets so that they can meet their needs to prosper in our communities.
Commissioner Woodward, in the last 30 seconds that we have here, State Representative Donnie Steele says she'll propose a bill to ban local officials from being paid by companies seeking approvals. What's your response to that proposal and to residents who question your dual roles?
Sure. Well, I would reiterate that there is no conflict, because decisions on whether a Sheetz comes into an area is exclusively made at a local level. Planning, zoning, land use issues, and other things are all local decisions. They're not county decisions. I've never voted on a Sheetz issue. I will never vote on a Sheetz issue. And if ever there was a conflict in the future that came up, I am required by law to recuse myself, not participate in debate, and follow all the guidance from our county lawyers. So there is no conflict. She knows there is no conflict. And frankly, I think it's this political rhetoric. She came to one of our board meetings on a whole rant of attacking Democrats, and I think this is just more political theater, if anything else.
Thank you for allowing us to take a quick little pivot there. Chair of the Oakland County Commission, Dave Woodward, thank you so much for joining us on the Metro.
Thank you, Robin, for having me.
This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. We'll be right back after the news from NPR and WDET. And this is the Metro. Stay with us.